Imagine stumbling upon a key that unlocks the biggest mysteries of life, why we're here, what happens after we die, and the true nature of reality. This is what the Tripartite Tractate, an ancient Gnostic text, claims to reveal. It doesn't just discuss salvation as something earned by following rules or rituals. Instead, it suggests that true salvation comes from knowing the deepest truths about yourself, truths that could completely change how you see good, evil, and the fabric of existence. The early church didn't want people thinking for themselves, realizing their own potential, or understanding that they didn't need anyone to tell them how to connect with the divine. Despite their efforts to bury this knowledge, it survived, hidden for centuries. Now these ideas are resurfacing, more powerful and relevant than ever. In The Convoluted Universe, Dolores Cannon explores topics like parallel lives, time travel, and contact with other beings. She guided people into the deepest parts of their minds, uncovering stories about past lives, hidden realms, and universal knowledge that could help us understand who we truly are and why we're here. Gnosticism, an ancient spiritual belief system from the 1st and 2nd centuries AD, takes the idea of duality to a whole new level. According to Gnostic teachings, everything in our reality is shaped by two opposing forces, light and darkness. This concept, known as Gnostic dualism, was so radical that it threatened to unravel early religious teachings. Picture the world as a giant chessboard with two sides locked in battle. On one side are the forces of light, representing knowledge, spirit, and freedom. On the other, the forces of darkness symbolize ignorance, materialism, and control. Here's the twist. Gnostics believed that most people unknowingly live on the dark side of the board. To them, the physical world is like a prison, ruled by powerful beings called archons, who keep us trapped in material desires and blind to our true spiritual nature. The Tripartite Tractate divides reality into three realms: the left, the right, and the center. The left side represents matter and darkness, a domain ruled by archons who manipulate through fear and deception. The right side is the realm of mind and understanding, where individuals begin to awaken, question, and seek deeper truths. Finally, the center represents the spirit, the essence of who we truly are, beyond the limits of the physical and mental worlds. We all face moments when life seems overwhelming, and finding answers feels impossible. In those times, greater clarity and understanding can make all the difference. This is exactly what Banned Secrets, the lost knowledge of Jesus, offers: a path to peace and clarity through hidden teachings. If you're seeking hope and clarity, this ebook could be your guide, available as a free download in the first comment. Though this might sound like a fantasy novel, for the Gnostics, it was a dangerous reality. Their teachings challenged the early Christian church, which insisted that salvation could only be achieved by strictly following its rules and doctrines. Gnostics, however, believed salvation came from within. They argued that each person has a divine spark, a piece of the true God trapped inside. To be saved, one had to awaken to this inner divinity and break free from the illusions of the material world. By the 2nd century AD, the Church declared Gnosticism heretical, branding its teachings as dangerous and blasphemous. Despite this, the powerful insights of Gnosticism have endured, offering us a glimpse into a profound spiritual journey. In 367 AD, Bishop Athanasius of Alexandria issued a decree to destroy all non-canonical books, specifically targeting Gnostic texts. He ordered the burning of many of these writings and persecuted their followers. Despite this, some of these forbidden texts were hidden and survived in remote places. One significant discovery was the Nag Hammadi Library in Egypt in 1945, a collection of 13 ancient Gnostic codices that revealed a treasure trove of lost knowledge. Among these texts were profound Gnostic teachings about duality, salvation, and the hidden nature of reality. These writings challenge us to look beyond the surface and recognize the hidden forces at play in the world. They suggest that true freedom doesn't come from external authorities, but from within ourselves. Understanding this ancient wisdom isn't just about reading old texts. It's about waking up to a new way of seeing the world and your place in it. The tripartite tractate, for example, divides humanity into three types: the material, the intellectual, and the spiritual. Material-focused individuals are trapped by worldly pleasures and desires, while intellectuals, though more aware, are still limited by their thoughts and concepts. Spiritual beings, however, are those who seek gnosis, the knowledge of their true nature and the universe. It's like someone lighting a candle in a dark room, revealing things as they truly are. For Gnostics, the darkness symbolizes the material world, where most people remain asleep, unaware of their divine origins. The light, on the other hand, represents gnosis, understanding that beneath all distractions and illusions, we are part of something infinite and eternal. Salvation, in this view, isn't about escaping punishment or reaching a far-off paradise. It's about recognizing your connection to the divine source within. Gnostic teachings explain that the physical world is a temporary, flawed creation ruled by lesser beings known as archons, who cloud our perception with lies and keep us from seeing the truth. Salvation comes when you see through these deceptions and realize your own divinity. One intriguing idea is the concept of the elect, or chosen. For Gnostics, being chosen doesn't mean you're better than others. It means you have the potential to wake up. It's like being handed a map in a maze. While others wander aimlessly, you have the directions to find your way out, but it's still up to you to take the journey. This path to salvation isn't easy. It requires questioning everything you've been told, looking beyond the surface, and facing the mental and emotional barriers, the archons, that hold you back. Once you see through the illusion, you experience what Gnostics call the pleroma, or the fullness of being. This realization is about understanding the interconnectedness of everything and recognizing your place in a larger, unified whole. In a world that constantly pushes us to seek happiness, success, and validation outside ourselves, the Gnostic idea of salvation through inner knowledge is revolutionary. It calls us to turn inward and explore the boundless universe within. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to feel disconnected, isolated, or insignificant, seeing ourselves as separate beings competing for resources and recognition. But these Gnostic teachings turn this view upside down, explaining that the material world, with all its divisions and conflicts, is merely a shadow of a greater reality. Beneath the surface, everything is united in harmony within the pleroma. According to Gnostic belief, in the beginning, there was only the One, a pure source of light and consciousness. Everything else emerged from this source, like rays of light spreading from the sun. But as these emanations moved further from the source, they forgot their origins and became trapped in the physical world's illusions. Gnostics taught that every soul carries a fragment of this divine light, a spark of the One. Most of us, however, have lost touch with this inner light, identifying only with our physical bodies and worldly identities, leading to feelings of separation and loneliness. The journey to enlightenment is about remembering our true nature and reconnecting with the divine source. This reunification concerns not just individual souls, but the entire universe. The ultimate goal is to return all things to their original state of unity and perfection. In Gnostic belief, the role of Christ is not as a savior who absolves sin, but as a guiding light, helping souls find their way back to the source. Christ represents the divine spark within each of us, calling us to awaken and recognize our connection to all that exists. In a world that often feels chaotic and divided, this idea of unity can be a powerful source of hope and healing. It reminds us that we are not just isolated individuals struggling alone, but threads in a vast, intricate tapestry of existence. Embracing this perspective could transform not only our personal lives, but the world around us. Gnostic teachings suggest that much of our inner and outer turmoil stems from forgetting who we truly are. When we get caught up in the noise of everyday life, our fears, judgments, and conflicts, it's easy to feel lost and powerless. But Gnostic wisdom invites us to see beyond these illusions, and rediscover a deeper truth that lies beneath the layers of confusion. We are not isolated beings struggling against the universe, but rather the universe itself, expressing life in countless diverse forms. The ancient Gnostics believed that understanding our interconnectedness had the power to transform not only individuals, but entire societies. This message is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago, perhaps even more so. Recognizing our shared essence can serve as a powerful rebellion against fear and ignorance, especially in a time when so many forces try to divide us. You don't need to accept these ideas blindly, nor dismiss them outright. Instead, think of them as a lens to question what you know and explore your own inner truth. The most important part of this journey is the willingness to dig deeper, to look beyond appearances, and to understand that reality is far more than what meets the eye. The greatest secrets aren't hidden in ancient books or distant places. They reside within you, always waiting for you to notice, to ask, and to seek. The path to true understanding is not about finding all the answers, but about daring to ask the right questions. Throughout history, organized religion has shaped societies, dictated moral codes, and influenced how people relate to the divine. Gnostics believed that many religious institutions, especially in their early stages, were not designed to enlighten but to obscure deeper truths. For example, the early Christian church established strict doctrines and labeled certain texts and ideas as heresy. Why? Because concepts like those found in Gnostic texts inspired people to seek divine truth from within, rather than relying on the church's teachings. One major criticism from the Gnostics was the portrayal of God in mainstream religion, a distant, judgmental figure to be obeyed rather than a loving, all-encompassing source of creation. The Gnostics believed that every person carries a spark of the divine within themselves, and this inner light is the key to understanding our true nature and purpose. By focusing on external rituals and dogmas, organized religion distracts people from this inner spiritual journey. If you're intrigued by these hidden teachings and ancient mysteries, consider supporting this journey of exploration. It's a way to keep expanding your mind and deepening your understanding. A turning point in the struggle between Gnostic beliefs and the early church came in 367 AD, when Bishop Athanasius of Alexandria issued the Festal Letter. In this decree, he listed the 27 books of the New Testament and condemned all other writings, including Gnostic texts, as dangerous. This marked the beginning of a systematic effort to suppress alternative spiritual viewpoints. Many Gnostic writings were destroyed and their followers were persecuted. Only centuries later, with the discovery of the Nag Hammadi library in Egypt in 1945, did some of these suppressed texts resurface. Gnostics had a radically different view of salvation compared to the Church. They taught that true salvation came through personal spiritual knowledge, or nosis, rather than through adherence to the Church's teachings and sacraments. They believed that each person had the potential to directly experience the divine without needing an intermediary. Another controversial aspect of Gnostic thought was their view of the Creator God, often referred to as the Demiurge in their texts. Unlike the benevolent, all-powerful God worshipped in mainstream Christianity, the Demiurge was seen as a flawed, lesser being who created the physical world as a kind of prison for souls. These ideas were seen as dangerous because they challenged the legitimacy of the Church's authority and the very nature of the God it worshipped. If people believed that the God they had been taught to fear and obey was actually imperfect, it would undermine the entire foundation of the Church. Furthermore, if individuals realized they didn't need the Church to connect with the divine, the institution's power and influence would crumble. Thanks for joining this exploration. Stay connected by subscribing and be part of this journey. Until the next video.